So hello everyone and welcome back to F1 2021. We are live again just a few days after the last one. So strap yourselves in and enjoy. So last time we were here, we did qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix. One-shot qualifying, just nabbed pole on the final straight. And now we are going to continue it and go to the race. So it's 35 laps around Canada. Let's hand over to Crofty.
All it takes is one look around the crowd to know it's finally race day. The atmosphere at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is incredible. Personally, I think we're in for a brilliant race. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. And it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the rundown into turn one. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore.
Charles,
and of course you have to make sure that
there.
all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Stroll, Vettel and Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Gasly, Mick Schumacher, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
And go down to the track we will. Now sitting inside the cockpit of the Mercedes. Let's just check our pit strategy. 2 stops quite common around Canada. It is quite an intensive track on the tyres. It's to stay dry, which is good, as you can see along the top there. So about 45 minutes from now, all going well, we will see this pole position, take the race win, 5 red lights, and we're underway into a good start line, but a wheel spin, starting to get a better start, just going to give him the room. Lovely little tap from Perez there on the inside, but not too bad, no wheel damage. Second of Max to ensure he can't break the DRS once we get that enabled on lap
3. A new strategy is available.
Let's not hit the wall. quick little adjustment to my audio levels. Hopefully that's a bit better now. Hear me more than you can hear the sound of the Mercedes engine. We're coming down toward the wall of champions, closing in on Max. We're going too far back to make a move. A nice line through the chicane. Not quite close enough to contemplate a dive down the inside of the one. Completely filling his mirrors there, not letting him forget that we're here. Closing. Make the move, give him the room, and that is the lead of the race. A lovely move right inside there. And then using the outside line through the second part of the chicane. And that is the lead of the race. A bit deep into the hairpin there, managing to keep out the wall back. As we now make our way down the long track straight here in Canada. Slam on the brakes and just skirt over the chicane.
Okay, DRS is now available.
DRS has now been enabled by race control,
We're
so if you're
increasing our
within a
gap on the
second
car
of the
behind by
car
around a second a lap.
you can slide open your rear wing and gain an extra burst of speed as we go purple through sector 1, so fastest of anyone so far. And that's the benefit of the free air as opposed to the dirt air. You can get moving a lot faster down the track. Perez having dropped down to the back of the grid after that tap on the opening lap with us. As we go double purple now and managed to break the DRS for Verstappen. Plenty overtake mode, pull away a bit more. Jam on the brakes, over the chicane. Across the line for a 1:13.4. Double purple and then green to show that I was faster than my own best. Which means there is still more time to be found as we go purple again through sector 1. To get into the rhythm here on these soft tyres, which in theory should be the fastest tyre, but they will degrade quickly, and so the lap times probably will fall when we move on to the mediums later in the race, as the fuel levels will also be coming down. So it's Hamilton, which is us, from Verstappen, from Bottas, from Norris, from Leclerc as your top 5. So you can see how quickly those softs have degraded, and they're already 25% worn on the rears after just 4 laps. It will not last long, especially not with how hard we're pushing to try and build the gap before the first pit stops. What wouldn't be too useful just now is a safety car, so we need to hope that no one retires from the race in these early stages. bit of oversteer through the chicane, the rear end threatening to kick out, but we just come off the throttle and glide it through to keep us out of the wall. Through the very tricky hairpin there, at the top of the circuit yielding move. Heading back down toward the chicane before the Wall of Champions. Aptly named because it's claimed the cars are so many world champions in Formula 1.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
So getting close to the first pit stop of the race. One of two. Well, I'll need to check my tyre allocation because if we do have a spare set of softs, it'll be useful to have that in hand in case of a safety car later in the race. And switch to the softs for a last burst at the end. We do have fresh softs, so that could come in handy later in the race. Particularly if we get a safety car around about lap 28, 29, might be handy to come in for those softs. Just settling down into a nice rhythm here, just getting through the laps, one after the other. About 3 seconds clear of Verstappen now, so after that initial burst they're getting about 2 seconds clear, settling down and holding the gap steady. Which is important in these longer races. 50% race we're doing here, so normally the Formula 1 cars would do 70 laps. It'll take about an hour and a half, but we've stuck with the 50%, so we can perhaps get another race in this stream. A lot of speed, but taking a bit too much care.
You're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Pit window is open, so we're going to box at the end of this lap. Come in and get the medium tyres.
We're coming in this lap.
As Jeff has just told us. So it is time to make a pit stop. Probably go another few laps in the softs, but they would start to wear really quickly from now. The grip just falling away rapidly, so it'd be better just to come in and get the pit stop done. You don't want to risk a loss of grip forcing you into the wall or puncture. That's the end of the race over pretty much, so not going to take the chicane, just going to make our way into the pits, slowing down to 62 miles an hour, first car in.
Release.
2.8 second stop is going to bring us out into about 12th or 13th. I just need to plug my phone in to charge, hence the little pause. Oh, bring down the volume levels more. I'm being told the volume levels down even further. Oh no, there's a car right on my inside as I'm exiting the pits. Please give me the space, Gasly, thank you. Having to take a bit of a Seb Vettel line there. Over the grass. As we got released wheel to wheel with Pierre Gasly. Could have ended badly, but both drivers showing each other massive amounts of respect. As we're now racing Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri. Up the inside of the chicane.
Nice work, that brings you up a
Nice
place.
and smooth. And that's 10th place, back up into the points. As Valtteri comes in for his stop. Using the DRS to just close on Ocon. Round the outside. Through one. Inside into two. And that is 4th place. Taken from the most recent winner of a Formula 1 Grand Prix, Esteban Ocon. So it is Verstappen who leads, but he is yet to pit. As well as Vettel and Norris, who are also
ahead
both
is
ahead,
3 seconds
but
up
again,
on you.
yet to box. So that is purple through sector 2. Like I said, the lap time's falling on the medium tyres. Now coming down to the line, retake the lead of the race, and post the fastest lap while we're at it. That's a 1:13.3. And Bottas has actually jumped Verstappen in the pit stops and is now up into 2nd place. So the undercut working for Mercedes here. And there is only a lap of a difference in their tyre age, so the fresh tyres aren't going to be able to affect Verstappen all too much in the battle for 2nd. But it is worth noting both teams do have another pit stop to make on each car. So it could all still change. We are very early doors. It's only lap 11 of 35. So a bit of a train forming behind Daniel Ricciardo, as you can see on the minimap. We're out in the free air, just pounding in the laps.
We're leading our teammate by 6.1 seconds.
And the undercut also working for us, as we were only a couple of seconds ahead of Verstappen when we came into the pits. Now 6 seconds clear, so we gained 4 seconds on those outlaps, while Verstappen was still lapping on the used softs. A bit deep there, so we're going to use overtake mode to try and gain back some of the time that we lost. So we are double green. too much of a liberty there. Moving over the curbs.
Good job.
That's a
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
1:12.5. A little bit of confidence lift through the corner there. Didn't want to lose the car, so it's better just to relax the throttle that little bit. Just to play it safe. Just as we come through that previous chicane there, it reminds me of an old glitch in F1 2019 where you could literally completely cut the chicane and you would never get anything to do with corner cutting, even on strict. It was quite strange, but did lead to some very fast lap times. Down through the infamous chicane that earned Sebastian Vettel a 5-second time penalty back in 2019, the last Canadian Grand Prix to be held. 2020 and 2021 editions both cancelled due to COVID, which is a great shame. It's a fantastic circuit and a fantastic race, and I really hope we go back in 2022. It's always in a bit of an odd spot in the calendar, mind you. Bang smack in the middle of the European season, we just fly across to Canada. But then when you take into account Canadian weather and everything, it does make a bit more sense. So we're blitzing our way down the back straight once again. And into the chicane. So as you can see on the mini-map, there's actually a few back markers not too far up the road. So we could catch them before the next pit stops. Unless, of course, there's a safety car, that'll bunch the whole pack together. Or even a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car, or as if any of you are Formula E fans, you might know it as Full Course Yellow, when Scott Elkins comes over the radio, which I find very interesting that you don't really get that in Formula 1. There's no countdown to tell you that you're going to virtual safety car. It just happens, or at least we don't hear it on TV. Whereas obviously in Formula E you get race control coming over the radio saying full course yellow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then everyone has to respect the necessary deltas. Would just be an interesting bit of radio to hear from Michael Massey. Purple through sector 1 there by 3/10. Great first sector. And that, not so great. In my defence, we went quite a few laps without a mistake, so one was bound to happen. All I can say is thank goodness for flashback. Otherwise, that would have been our race done. Now, not 3.7 seconds, 0.37 of a second faster than our best, so we gained 0.02 through that second sector. Not quite purple, but still an improvement. Through the chicane, the car threatening to kick out. But it's the new fastest lap. A 1:12.4.
Gap to teammate behind is 10.3 seconds.
That was just me being distracted. And driving straight into a wall. Let's not do that again. So we are now about halfway through this race. Medium tyres still holding on strong. Let's get some pit stop
One more
information
stop
from Jim.
today. One stop left in our strategy. You have 4 laps till your pit window opens.
So 4 laps until the next pit stop. So we're going to be coming in about lap 21, 22. To go on to another set of medium tyres. All 20 cars still running in this race. So 10 seconds clear of our teammate Valtteri. Which is a nice comfortable gap. It does also mean that if the safety car comes out, you could afford to double stack. There is enough of a gap for the team to double stack the cars under the safety car. So we don't need to worry about ruining Valtteri's race in that respect.
Okay, this is Jeff.
Oh,
I need you
dear.
to stop cutting the corners. If you keep it up, the stewards will award you a penalty.
And that's the one thing that does irritate me about the game a little. In the game, it's after your third instance you get a warning. And that's not how it works in reality. In reality, it is you get 3 warnings, well, 2 warnings, then a black and white flag, which serves as your final warning, and then you get a 5-second time penalty. And if I get hit for corner cutting again, I'll get a 3-second time penalty, which is a time penalty that, well, doesn't exist. Oh, come on, Richard. It's not that naughty. You saw how tight the line was. I'm still convinced one of my tyres was on the curb. The limits are the limits. That sounds like me on the podcast when we talk about track limits. Well held. The rear end was not pleased there. Tyres are definitely starting to go. But we're going to be boxing next lap, so coming down the back straight. Let's not do a Kevin Magnussen this lap. There we go, well held this time.
Push now.
The pit
We're
window
boxing this
is
lap.
now open. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a Haas. I wonder which Haas it is. I've got a suspicion as to which Haas it will be. Most likely the slowest driver on the Formula 1 grid today, but I'm not certain. I'm actually going to stay out another lap. I'm not going to box this lap. As I say, I've got enough time to double stack with Bottas, so that's not an issue. And even then, he would only come out third, because of how far back Norris is. From the leaders.
We're leading our teammate by 12.1 seconds.
12.1 seconds is the gap. We are going to box this lap, regardless. I'm not going to be able to catch the Haas, so let's check which Haas it is. It is indeed the slowest car on the grid. Nikita Mazepin, the number 9.
Tyre condition is still looking good.
So we're going to box this lap. For a fresh set of medium tyres.
Complete, go now.
And we are double stacking at Mercedes. So
Valtteri
in
is
comes
into his
Valtteri.
stop. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Valtteri not really losing any time to us in the pit stops, which is good, as that means he won't have lost much time to Verstappen, who is most likely going to box this lap. But he has been very slow. Closed in by about 2 seconds on this lap. And in he goes to the pits. We retake the lead of the race. Across the line. So now it's all eyes on the timing screens to see what Bottas can do. Verstappen's on his way out. But it's not even going to be close. Bottas holds second place. And all going well, that should wrap up a Mercedes 1-2 here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Not quite a lights to flag win for us. We did get jumped off the line. But apart from that, a very comfortable drive after the lead was retaken.
Some information on Verstappen. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
And that will just seal it there. He's retiring. Yellow flags. Verstappen is retiring from the race, I think. Either that or he's picked up a puncture. Let's go find out using good old instant replay. He's running very slow. Yep, he's got a puncture. That is the end of Max's race. Just out of the pits. And he's picked up a puncture. That does promote Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo to P3 and P4. A fantastic result for McLaren, that'll be if they can hold it. As we now have the blue flags out, we're approaching Antonio Giovinazzi. And a Williams. Not too sure which Williams it is. It's Latifi. So Giovinazzi getting out of their way nice and quickly. Slipstream of Latifi, and Giovinazzi's coming back at us as we have to dive down the inside of Nicholas Latifi to pass the lapped car. That was interesting to say the least. But where has Max come back out? Let's check the race director. Max is now down in 10th on the soft tyre. So there is your top 14 in the race. Any other instance? Nope, just the two quite harsh corner cutting calls.
12.6 seconds.
So Max wasn't involved in a collision or anything, he just got a puncture. Tragic for him, but great for Mercedes and Mercedes-powered cars, as it is now an all-Mercedes top 5. Hamilton and Bottas in the works team, Norris and Ricciardo in the McLaren Mercedes, and Stroll in the Aston Martin Mercedes. The Mercedes also being bolted onto the end of their name because that's the engine supplier. So still no retirements. Max being the only driver to cause a yellow flag with that puncture that he picked up. So we could have a race here without any sort of a safety car, which would be interesting. A safety car deployed now would also be more interesting, as there would be 2 lapped cars in between myself and Bottas. In the safety car queue. It would actually be 3 lapped cars. It turns out we've lapped someone else. Must have done that in the pits. So I didn't do it on track. And I will be right back. I'm being phoned. And we are back. So lap 20 to 35, 7.5 laps to go. Up to the hairpin, hit the brakes, and round we've got the Williams of George Russell ahead, along with the Haas of Mick Schumacher, who comes into the pits. Does George follow him? He doesn't, so that's going to be a position made up for Russell. As we lap the other Haas. So I think Russell might be running in 14th, if I've worked this out right, which means we've lapped 5 cars. Bottas has also now lapped Mazepin. 15th. For Russell. Yeah, we have lapped 5, but we've got Russell next. Car number 6.
If you continue to cut corners,
Let's not pick up a 3-second time penalty. That's a much better line. Russell pulls out of the way to let our Mercedes through, and that'll probably be the last car we lap. As you can see, the next set of cars are very far up the road. No chance of catching them in 5 laps unless one of them picks up a puncture. Down the back straight. on the brakes and through the corners. Across the line, it's a 1:13.4, so a second slower than our fastest. In fairness, on slightly worn tyres, probably not going to threaten the fastest lap that was done on fresh tyres. And this is Lewis Hamilton at Canada, not Lewis Hamilton on the final lap of the 2019 British Grand Prix, where he pulled out the fastest, a new track record in fact, if I remember correctly, on the final lap of the race on exceptionally worn hard tyres. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong there, chat, but I think it was a new track record. Through we go, up to the line. On to lap 32, 4 laps to go. Keep our fingers crossed that my engine doesn't blow up.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Plenty of fuel, so no need to fuel save. Which was deliberate, because to be quite honest, I'm not the greatest at fuel saving. But just pushing for pace, I can do that. Overtake mode. Through the chicane, up to the line. So 1:12.9. So not a shoddy lap, only 5/10ths down on our best.
We're leading our teammate by 17.7 seconds.
To the hairpin as we get ready to move on to the penultimate lap of the race. It was a race that really was won and lost in the pit stops. A good strategy from the Mercedes team has allowed us to wrap this one up. If the strategy hadn't been on point, it would have been a lot closer. There is always the risk that the overcut is more powerful than the undercut, but in this instance it was the undercut that worked twice for both cars, allowing me to pull away in the first stop, and then allowing Valtteri to jump Verstappen. Then in the second stop, the undercut allowed us to keep those positions and even increase the gap to Max before, of course, he picked up that puncture, which did ruin his race. But unfortunately, you can't plan for them. Even without the puncture, the race was wrapped up by the Silver Arrows.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Then making our way down through the chicane for the second last time, and on to the final lap.
This is your final lap. Final lap of the race.
So coming up toward the hairpin now for the final time. Overtake mode. In the old days we would have went for rich mix, but that's banned. So it's just overtake mode. And I did a Magnussen. On the last lap, I did a Magnussen. Not spinning this time. Coming up to the checkered flag, across the line.
Fantastic.
That is
You've won the
a
Grand
race
Prix.
win.
A truly magnificent drive then, and a great performance from the entire team to secure victory here in Canada. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
There is James Allison on the podium, actually. Strategic mastermind for the Mercedes team. Sorry, he's the motorsport director. No, James Vowles is the strategy guy. Oops. And of course getting some podium pass XP. But that is not a nice livery in the next slot.
After an incredible
Definitely
day of
won't be
racing,
using that
who
one.
was your driver of the day, Ant?
Fernando Alonso, wherever he is, whatever team he's in, when is he not just brilliant? He'll give you a performance every time, just like he's done today.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So Max managing to salvage P9 after that puncture. What happened to Lance Stroll? When did he DNF? Huh? Did he not finish the last lap? That's very strange. It DNF'd Lance Stroll for some reason. Not too sure why. Because he didn't DNF on circuit. At least not according to the game. But let's review the race highlights here. So the 5 lights came on. And we were underway. A bit of wheel spin cost us the lead into turn 1. As you can see, just respecting Max, giving him the space. Perez throwing it up the inside, which is where he tagged his front wing. And thus began the chase. And it's not showing the overtake that won us the race, but it is showing wheel to wheel with Gasly as we came out of the pits. Look at how close that was. Both drivers showing each other the respect through the chicane. And that was us up into P10. Set off after Ocon. DRS open, using the slipstream down to the line. Wheel to wheel, but getting the pass done. Lovely move. We're on board, or we were on board at least, for a moment there. As it seems to just be selecting some random highlights of our driving. And then lap 35, taking the checkered flag, and winning the race. Yeah, actually, let me rewind that. Stroll, fifth, last. That's very strange. I wonder if you can fast forward this. Aha! You can fast forward by lap. Let's go to lap 35 and ride on board with Lance Stroll and just see what happens at the end of the race. So he doesn't stop, the game just puts him P20. Robbing Mercedes of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that they should have had. Very strange, very strange. But that was a race win. Ah, actually, we can use the view replay to watch that race-winning overtake once again. We'll ride on board on the T-cam here. As without DRS, just overtake mode and the slipstream, diving down the inside. What would that look like from Max's on board? It was a very late move, I'll admit that now in hindsight, but it did get the job done. There was no contact. Gave the space. Perfectly fair move. Perfectly fair race win in Canada. So chat, where should we go next? Any particular circuit? we went to Brazil last time, so we'll take that off the list. And obviously we've just been to Canada. So what track should we do qualifying at next? Because we'll just qualify and the race will be on the next stream. Or at least depend on time, the race will be on the next stream. We might keep it on this one. I'm thinking either Breton, Spa, or Monza. So I'm curious, did we break the track record? 1:13.7. No, I think we just missed out on the track record. Monza is. By Bennett and Quali, are you want me to do a last to first? Because I could do a last to first. Okay, last to first it is for Monza. Okay, so weekend structure, session length, long qualifying format, one shot. But no practice. Make sure that's set right. There we go. Assists, all sorted. Rules and flags. Increased safety car. No formation lap. Let's go. Last to first challenge in Monza. So we'll take out the soft tyre. Open up the DRS. And then completely ignore turn one. And we've been disqualified. It's going to be a rapid lap time, probably because we ignored two chicanes. Oh no, I've spun. I'm in the
Are you
wall.
okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
I was going for a full speed lap, but we spun it, we hit the wall. It didn't matter anyway. Let's retire from the session. He's not pleased at the team for giving him a brake
With qualifying
failure.
finished, it's time to remind ourselves
And it's
of our
Bottas
top
that takes
three.
pole.
Bottas, Verstappen and Lando Norris. Well, that wraps up qualifying.
So let's now go to the race. And of course, 27 laps. hand over to Crofty.
Welcome to Monza, where the crowd are ready for today's action. And we hope you're ready to see the world's best drivers fighting it out for that #1 spot. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, and Vettel, Stroll, Gasly, Leclerc, and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Tsunoda, Carlos Sainz, and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, George Russell, and Nikita Mazepin, Latifi, and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Well, hopefully us, to be honest, but we'll see. We're starting off from P20. Let's again overfuel the car just that little bit so we can push nice and hard. We need to get a good start here, that's crucial. So no wheel spin like in Canada. It's lights out and away we go. And we do get the good start that we needed. In fact, it's an excellent start, and Giovinazzi's cut off our line to the inside, but we're going to send it anyway. Full send, and that's 9 positions off the line. Very aggressive if we want to stand any chance of taking this race. So now in the slipstream Stroll, we are quicker. Pull out to be able to make the pass, and on the brakes. Up into P9 now. So Ricciardo and Gasly are battling up ahead, and that's good for us because that will slow them down, allowing us to close right up through the Parabolica. Can we get them both on the exit? We can, and that's P7. But Ricciardo's coming back at us. Send it on sharp. And that is P6. As Carlos Sainz said in Abu Dhabi, sometimes you've just got to lick the stamp and send it. No, that was Ricciardo. Sainz was just, send it. As he took the position he needed to give McLaren that position in the Constructors' Championship. So now chasing after the papaya of Lando Norris as we go purple through Sector 2. Gaining. And the double slipstream using Seb's as well. Going to go down the inside of the Parabolica. And that's P5.
Okay, good work.
And we're
Great pass.
faster than Seb through the corner. Just staying within track limits.
DRS is now enabled.
Nick the fastest lap from Valtteri. Sorry. Correction there, Richard. Send it on Seb. We're up into P4 and it's only lap 3. So as I said, have to be incredibly aggressive in these opening stages. Take everything out the tyres. Open the DRS. Closing up on Sergio. Gaining. Send it on the brakes. He locks up. And we get through at Ascari and up into the podium places. So these full send moves, they are incredibly risky because one wrong touch and we are out of the race. It's as simple as that. We go slightly wrong into that and our race is done. That's why we have to get everything spot on each time. And also hope that the other car shows us the respect, which they have done so far. Every driver's given us the space, which has been an improvement in this year's AI compared to F1 2020. F1 2020, you would send the move and the AI would just turn into you. Better run through the Lesmos, and Verstappen doesn't have the DRS. This one could be done by the time we get to Ascari. He defends the inside, we go to the outside, it's not even going to matter. It's done long before we hit the brakes. We're now up into second and chasing after Valtteri, who has a few seconds clear. Max is going to be able to come back at us with the DRS up this main straight. And an oversteer moment there has cost
Okay,
us
we lost the
second.
position. Try to keep focus.
But Max didn't have a great exit there. As we come through the Curva Grande, make sure to give him the space, and that is P2 once again. But that little battle has allowed Valtteri to pull clear. Now 3.5 seconds up the road, so it is quite a sizable gap. Through the Parabolica.
Gap to the car behind is 1.5 seconds.
And crucially, we've broken the DRS to Max. Well, Sorry, Max isn't even in third anymore. We've broken the DRS to Checo. We've got clear Max. Now make our way round this long corner. Into the Lesmos. Chat, perhaps you can give me a hand. I always forget which chicane's which at Monza. I know the third one is Ascari. You've also got the two Lesmos, but what's the first and second? And we Bennett through Ascari. So yeah, big tip if you are playing the game, be careful on that inside curb through Ascari, because if you tap the sausage bit of the curb, you are going round. There's nothing you can do to catch it. You're hitting the wall. So we actually go purple through that final sector, but still 2.5 seconds down on Bottas. Max has got back ahead of Checo, so that could be a nice battle all through this race between the two Red Bulls. As they battle for P3 and P4. Just coming off the gas there to not hit the wall.
Keep the car ahead under pressure. You might make a mistake. The gap is only 2 seconds.
Yeah, but Jeff, that gap hasn't came down any, which is the problem. I need to catch Bottas. Just outside of Bottas's DRS now. We're actually inside his DRS. Coming down the main straight now, and this could be the lead of the race.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Having to slam on the brakes so as not to go into the back of Bottas there. I wasn't too confident in the move, so I'm not saying that.
Expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
going a bit deep, but still getting the move done. But Bottas is going to come straight back at us into the Parabolica. Wheel to wheel. And it's Bottas that's got the DRS. Or apparently neither car has the DRS. Still wheel to wheel through the Curva Grande and into, I think it's the Della Roja chicane. Is now P1. Took 10 laps and one hell of a battle with Bottas, but that is the lead of the race. But I still have to keep it. And that's not going to help. Now it's us that's got the inside line through the Parabolica this time.
We want to pit this lap, so push now. The gap behind us is 2.3 seconds.
Valtteri does not want to give this one up. We are boxing this lap. Pit window is open. All we need to do is hope that Valtteri doesn't follow us into the pits, because that will ruin his race. And I don't think there would be a Valtteri exchange, considering it was us that was coming up behind Valtteri. That would be quite unfair on Valtteri, but I mean, it could happen. We are emerging in P6.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the
With
track.
Giovinazzi coming up the inside. Let's just let him have the position. It's not worth a collision over P6 just out the pits, because we'll get him right back into the Della Roja. That is the Della Roja, isn't it? Yeah. Through the two Lesmos and down toward Ascari. Yeah. What's the first one? Valtteri's in the pits. We now have to push hard. And push now. think he's going to jump us. Valtteri might have jumped us. It is a purple final sector. Oh, no, we've got it. We just have it. And then immediately nearly give it away. At the Rettifilo chicane. And then through the Curva Grande. We hit the gravel. Trump's too busy looking at the chat. So let's not look at chat and let's go through the Curva Grande. Let's not look at chat. Let's go through the Curva Grande. Take 2. Through the Della Roja chicane and up toward Lesmo 1. Through Lesmo 1, down toward Lesmo 2. Under the old banking. And here comes Bottas. Give him the space into Ascari. Take the line. Slight touch between the two cars, but no damage. Turns out we were behind, so we have the DRS, which surprisingly doesn't cancel out Valtteri's slipstream. But we hold it into the Rettifilo chicane. Laps to go of this race. It's going to be nip and tuck between us and Bottas the whole way, I think. Purple through sector 1. Purple through 1, through the Lesmos, down toward the second sector timing beam. We've completed a challenge, Italy track mastery. Probably done a set amount of kilometres around here. Bottas once again coming back at us through Ascari. He just gets an excellent run through there every single time. A wheel banging. Oh, I didn't mean to make him pit, so let's not wheel bang with Bottas. So here he comes again. Once again, it was us that was behind at the DRS detection point, so we used the DRS in the overtake mode just to pull back clear and maintain first place in this race. This race, admittedly, a lot more entertaining than Canada. Whoa! Getting airborne there through the Della Roja chicane, so we have to concede the position through Valtteri. We've got the DRS this time down toward Ascari. that's the pass this time. We've got the much better exit. I hit the curb, and that's going to invite Valtteri back on. He's going to have the DRS. Is he a bit too far back? I think he is. And Max also now joining this party. Steering well clear of the curbs there to make sure we didn't have a repeat of the takeoff moment. So Richard, after this race, 2-player career mode? Yes? No? So 2-player career mode it is after this race, but this will be the last one on the stream. Got 11 laps to go. Holding P1 but not pulling away from Valtteri the way we did in Canada. We do have yellow flags on the main straight. Are we going to see a virtual or a full safety car? Sainz is retiring. Come on, Massey, deploy the safety car, please.
Flag.
Coming down past the stricken car
There's a yellow flag ahead.
Sainz. Bottas shouldn't have the DRS. The DRS should be disabled. Under yellow flags, DRS is supposed to be disabled. actually read my pit window because of
That was
the
our
broadcast
last
bar on
stop.
Twitch.
No more scheduled pit stops.
Okay, so no more stops. Taking these mediums to the end. And there goes Valtteri. I mean, we can always do practice and stuff if you've got your dinner there. We don't need to race, but practice is an option. Oh, hello, Max! Max suddenly appearing in this battle for the lead. To be as nice with him as I do with Bottas. Bottas is my teammate. Verstappen is not. Is he going to make a move? No. Okay, that was maybe overly aggressive. Why has he stopped? Why did he just stop? How nice of him just parking on the racing line and cutting off Valtteri. I just raced the way Max does. He didn't back out the way anyone else does when they're racing him, but I just raced like him. Oh, we've got other yellow flags behind. It's one of the Alpines. Is slowing down on the run to the Parabolica. Looks set to retire. I mean, for safety cars supposedly being set to increase, we haven't actually seen one. for any of the retirements. But the Alpine's got going again. They've made it into the pits. Possibly a puncture. And it is Bottas back up into second, but Verstappen holds him through the rate of failure. They're wheel to wheel. But Bottas gets the move done. No, he doesn't through the Curva Grande. Very intense battle there through the first few corners of the lap.
Green flag.
And it's yellow flags behind, and it's for Checo. Checo's slow. We've got the safety car.
Our is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Safety car deployed. What happened to Checo? Right on board. Oh, he just lost it. He lost it and into the wall. Sergio Perez is out of the race. Just 4 laps to go. The safety car has been deployed.
Approaching the safety car. You're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
Now we'll all form up behind the red Mercedes.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
So once again, the McLarens are on the cusp of a podium if they can get a good safety car restart. We might only get about 2 racing laps here.
Return the position immediately or we will be penalised. There is no overtaking during the safety
I was
car
trying
period.
to see who was driving the safety car. So we've lost Sainz and Perez from this race. we won't have DRS for the rest of the race, because it's only enabled 2 laps after the safety car comes in. So even if the safety car comes in this lap, it wouldn't be available until lap 28.
Okay, the safety car is
coming in this
We'll
lap.
be pacing the field in sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car is in the pit lane. There's 4 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, clear.
Green flag, here we go. Bottas retakes the lead. We're not going to have DRS to help us, so let's stay right on his backside.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Closing on Bottas, pulling to the inside of Parabolica, and that is P1. He's going to come back at us with a switchback. There's a tag. Surely we can hit the he did, so we won't tag him. We're going to go to the outside. Bottas goes to defend, but we're just too quick. Out of the Parabolica and into the final lap of the race.
This is your final lap of the race.
Through the Curva Grande. Mercedes laying us down. Down the hill toward Ascari. No DRS helping out both us and Bottas. Bottas from defending from Max, and us from defending from Bottas. Now up toward the Parabolica, and that should be it. We take the
Absolutely
checker flag
fantastic.
to
It's a brilliant
win
result. Well done.
in Monza.
There it is then, victory in the Italian Grand Prix. An historic race and an achievement they can be immensely proud of. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
A few penalties getting handed out there. One to Yuki Tsunoda, one to Fernando Alonso. But far, that's not the right section. That's the race director I want to check. Ooh, some severe collisions behind the safety car. That does wrap up the Italian Grand Prix, and with that, it wraps up the stream. I just want to thank you all very much for watching, as always. And I will see you next time. Ta-ra for now.